this is what I'm telling niggas. Nigga, you might well go find you a prostitute. You might well go find you a little broad, homie, and say, listen, how much your monthly bill? And I'll pay this, and we go fucking fuck. You might well do that, homie, because right now, the American woman now have reduced herself to a hoe. She don't want to be courted.
Man, you saying something. God,
nigga, she don't want to be courted, nigga. She don't, nigga, the first date, she don't want the first date to be at the park where I ain't got to spend no money. We just sit right here on the park bench talking and laughing, getting to want to know. She don't want that, nigga.
Damn.
Nigga, she want her bills paid. Lady, how about you cook? That used to be the thing. You cook for a nigga. He cooked for you. You invite him over to your place. You cook him a good meal. Y'all sit down and drink, have some wine.
That's the first date for your ass.
Most you hoes ain't got a table to eat on. Invite me over here, bitch. I'm eating in my lap on the couch.
YouTube, welcome to Modern Fusion TV. Guys, in today's video, we're talking about paternity DNA testing for fathers at childbirth. Possible, mandatory. But these modern day women, they are freaking out. They say it's stupid. They don't want it. Don't believe me? Let's check out this video.
I think that the United States making DNA testing mandatory is stupid. I don't think that, you know, it's something that if you feel like you need a DNA test, go do that on your own time because you feel that way. I don't think every person, there's millions of people in the United States. Like, it doesn't make sense that people could be using that time to do other things. Like, you could be saving a life. You could be in a hospital saving a life.
30% of the males who get DNA tested annually, according to the American Association of Blood Banks, which is the accrediting body for the DNA labs. This is over 44 DNA labs throughout the United States. They are testing close to 500,000 men per year, and over 30% of them have been confirmed that he didn't do it.
I don't think there's any issue with a man taking care of another man's child. Women do it all the time, whether you know or not. He might bring another child and say, oh, I had this out of our wedlock, you know, what are we gonna do? Or he's taking your money and paying child support to another family. You had no idea. So when we're just like jumping like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, hold on, it's already being done.
0.0% paternity. But sadly, because this primarily affects men and boys, there's been attempts to try to discredit me. Problem is not the men who got tested. The problem is laws that subscribe to the Me Too movement. They say, believe all women. Cornell Smith says, believe all evidence.
I personally pay taxes and I care about where my money goes. I'm not here to pay for so-and-so because there's a confusion about who's the father. That's not my business. And for me, I want to fund schools. I want to fund the MTA because the trains are never on time. We got bigger problems. We have bigger problems. I'm sorry. I'm not paying for no mandatory test.
You know, they just did a study in New Hampshire. They found 30% of men paying child support were not the biological fathers.
You can't actually believe this.
I absolutely believe it. Women are untruthful, they're unfaithful, and they're unabashedly mercenary. The gynojudicial system allows them to commit paternity fraud, and that's exactly what's going on here, as Dan Springer said. You know, they just did a study in New Hampshire. They found 30% of men paying child support were not the biological fathers. And a recent study in Australia of 6,000 DNA tests showed that 25% of the women were lying. So this is an anti-extortion kit that men need.
Mark, for every woman who is quote-unquote caught by one of these paternity tests, there are about 1,000 guys out there who've cheated on her, and woman out there. And you know what, Mark? There isn't a test that you can tell whether a guy has been cheating, Mark, like you can on this. I mean, and look, Mark, historically, paternity tests have been used by women trying to corral guys, you know, into court to say, look, you get this tested because you are the father. And it's the guy saying, oh, no, unless it's the case of Anna Nicole Smith, who, you know, everybody wanted to get in part of that paternity test, Mark.
You are making it a bigger deal than it needs to be. Don't give the government or the country that responsibility to handle your shit. You was man enough to stick it in whoever. Be man enough about asking about the results.
Lise, that's a red herring and it's irrelevant and you know it. The fact of the matter is the DNA test helps the man because the man wants to know that he's not one of these defrauded guys. And the fact of the matter is women are having, 40% of children are being born out of wedlock today, and they're accusing men left and right. You're the father, you're the father. If women don't know who the father is, that means that they're sluts, and that's what's happening today. Look, if women thought raising a child was so expensive, then they would just forego all child support. The reason they want to snag men is because they want the child support.
No, that makes
They want the child support.
Mark.
That's why they do it. If the courts would say, if you're an unwed mother, no welfare, no child support. Guess how many women would have babies out of wedlock? 0.
So it's like if a woman is claiming you to be the father of the child, you may, let's say you're not with that woman, which that happens a lot, in today's society. There's some doubt that this is probably not my child, but instead of, confronting it on both ends where I feel like it should just be a mandatory. Don't tell somebody to father a child, but that there's a doubt, like if you had slept with someone in between.
I mean, you can avoid the doubt by going by God and getting married. And
but we're talking about real life. Do that,
what do you mean real life? Marriage is real life.
If unwed mothers would not get any child support, they would not have babies out of wedlock.
You are off the ranch again. I don't know what corral you're living in.
You come from the world of wind chimes and meadows and puppy dogs and sunflowers, but you don't come from the real world, Lise. Women commit paternity fraud all the time. I just read you statistics at the beginning of the segment. Those are real statistics.
None of those.
And lots of women are lying about the real fathers.
It's really interesting that if you've got issues about paternity tests in a marriage, you've got bigger problems than that paternity test at 200
pounds. Lise, it's just like a prenup.
I don't know if my husband is seeing tomorrow if he come to me asking for some DNA tests. We had these babies together. I've been supporting you, you've been supporting me, now you want to come up and talk about swabbing cheeks? No. Absolutely not. We fighting. That's what I'm saying. We fighting.
I vote yay. Let's have mandatory testing for all these fathers at child's birth. So, I mean, it is only fair that if the guy's going to spend his whole life raising a child, he should make sure that it's his. It is not fair that a lot of these women, they're reckless. They go on the street, they spread the cheeks for different guys. Those guys get to put a baby in there and get to go scot-free, no responsibility, while the good guy's home raising another man's child. So I say, yeah, mandatory. Let's do it, baby. So these guys can stay out of prison, because there's way too many stories of guys being locked up in prison because they can't pay child support, and the woman knows that these kids are not for these men, and yet still they still allow these guys to go to prison, knowing damn well that the kid is not his, knowing damn well that all this money he's spending on child support and that kid is not his. A lot of these women are just evil and wicked, man. We call those like the modern day criminal. It is sad, but it is true. Women be getting away with heinous crime for years. So no, that's why they're freaking out right now when they said mandatory testing. They don't like it. They don't want it. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into another video, another episode of Modern Fusion TV. Guys, I love you. Thank you to all the new subscribers, guys. I really appreciate you guys. Guys, we are trying to grow this channel slow, but consistency. Because over here, guys, we all about slow, but consistent. We're not talking about instant gratification, guys. Slow gratification, so we can get the people that want to tune into this channel, and we're gonna do this for the long run, guys. It's a long journey, guys, and I appreciate you. Peace until next time. 3 or 4. Yeah, baby, we out.